Welcome peeps and freaks, ladies and gents, to another Hearthstone game. Today we're going to be looking at a little bit of a different variation of a handlock, I guess you could say. We haven't seen a lot of handlocks recently, mainly because the Molten Giant got nerfed to 25, so now you have to be on 5 health for it to cost 0. That's a pretty big nerf. The Unlicensed Apothecary is a pretty interesting addition to a handlock deck. The Wolfram Shield also pretty interesting. The whole deck in general I think looks pretty nice to try out. I guess the main things to point out is it only has 2 taunts, the Faceless Shambler, so once you build up a bit of a board, as handlocks usually do, it might be hard to then stop your opponent from keep hitting you in the face. Another thing to take note is it obviously isn't a Reno deck, so the healing potential is a little bit limited. We only have the Siphoned Souls, or maybe the Wolfram Shield or Jiraxxus, but it's not really... I mean, that's not what the deck is designed to do, I guess. You're not meant to heal out of your opponent's range, you're just meant to build up a big enough board to kill them before they kill you. And I think it does what it's meant to do reasonably well, but I think in the current meta with all the aggro running around, it's going to be a little bit hard to win games against things like, Pirate Warrior, Aggro Shaman and stuff like that. So we're going to give the deck a bit of a rundown. I'm going to try it out, play a few games for you, and let me know how you think it works in the comments below. Okay, I can imagine going up against the Priest is pretty good for us with this deck. I think I'm going to keep the Unlicensed Apothecary, drop the other stuff. I do understand what this deck is trying to do with getting all the massive stuff onto the board early, and then getting a hold of board control so they can't put enough pressure on. So they can't put enough pressure on your face because you just keep trading with everything with such big minions, and then when it comes to like mid game, late game, they don't have enough burst to burst you down, and you can just finish them off with your board. But the problem is, everything is so aggressive.
Is someone injured?
Okay, I think with the Mountain Giant draw, it's better to tap here. The problem is if he plays Power Word Shield and then trades in, exactly, then it would get 2 draws from this and nothing would die. So I'm going to wait because with the 5 health, 5 attack on this, you can just trade into this guy anyway. We'll play that. I mean, he could have a Cabal Talon Priest here, but if he does do that on this guy, then he can't actually heal anyway. Okay, a death. Drawing out an early death is actually pretty good when playing this deck, I would say. So if we play this, goes to 6, next turn it'll go to 5, then we tap, it'll go to 4. That means we wouldn't be able to tap and play it. It means we can just play this next turn though. If we play the Ooze now, I mean. I think we want to play the Ooze now. Even though he can trade this in and draw twice, it's not bad because if he wants to kill it, then he has to trade this in as well. Unless he has a Pain, of course. Shadow Word Pain.
Are you mocking me?
So after seeing 1 death, I feel pretty good about this Mountain Giant. He doesn't have enough mana for Entomb yet, and he would have had to keep both deaths in his hand, or draw both deaths in the first third of the game, which I think is pretty unlikely. So this guy is most likely going to get a bit of value here. You might be trying to look for the second death now with this. And because he can't deal with this now, hopefully, our best top deck would obviously be a Shambler.
Once upon a time.
Because our hand isn't really that great against the Priest. Against the Priest you want to be a little bit more proactive as a handlock, and this hand doesn't really do that. I don't want to play the Mistress of Mixtures just because I want to be able to get some sort of value out of these Molten Giants at some point in the game. We're not going to overdraw when we draw our next turn, so that's good. I guess the only really option that we have in the coming turns is to play Cho'Gall into Shadow Flame, and that reduces our health by 4, and then maybe we might be able to play the Molten Giant in the same turn, but Yeah, I think the nerf to the Molten Giant just made this so unplayable. Like now this being 3 mana, it could really do something here, but 8 mana is just too much. Especially when we're already on 13.
Almost out of time.
Like I don't see the Priest doing 6 damage this turn. He'd have to have like double Blackwing Corruptor as a Dragon Priest, so I think this is safe enough. And as a Handlock, we need to start building up our board a little bit more. Just doing nothing there again is just... Like how else are we going to win then? After dumping this Molten Giant, we're definitely going to try and get both of these Mistress of Mixtures out of our hand though, to try and get our health total back up a little bit. Then I guess we try and tap for both. I guess that's our only other healing card in the deck really, apart from Jiraxis.
My work is paramount. Leave me alone.
Side effects? No. Side effects? No.
I don't know here. Like this seems like a really hard deck to play. Like I don't know if I should have tapped there and then only played one Mistress of Mixtures. Maybe it was probably enough health to live off if I'd just be at 10, or I would have been at 8 then right now. But then he does another what? Then you got to think he does then what, another 3 damage to my face. Then I'm at 5, and I've got the Mistress of Mixtures in my hand, and then I can't kill it by myself. Like I have to play it one turn, and then I have to run it into something on the next turn, and like then he only has to do 5 damage. I mean it is a priest, but at only doing 5 damage isn't that hard, especially when I don't have that much of a board anymore. Like it's an okay board, but honestly as a Handlock you want to be building up something a little bit bigger than this. So we could tap and play Mountain Giant. But then the same problem occurs again. Like then we get down to 11, he has 5 damage. We get down to 6, he only has to do 6 damage. If he can somehow clear some... Like he has already used the death, so it's probably not likely he's going to be able to clear both our minions, but... I don't know, I think as a Handlock you just can't afford to not tap. No, I can't do it. He hasn't played a single... what is it? Blackwing... Not Blackwing Technician, the Blackwing Corruptor yet. And that's 2 Blackwing Corruptors is the perfect amount of damage to kill us then, if we tap and then play Mountain Giant. So, we sort of have to play around that a little bit. It's really annoying not to be able to tap as a Handlock. Obviously, that's the whole idea behind how this deck works, but... Oh, I think the nerf to the Molten Giants just makes this deck really, really difficult. Oh, he didn't actually have enough mana for both the Blackwing Corruptors. Probably should have considered that. Oh well. Okay, we're gonna Shadow Bolt this, trade this in here. So this is gonna bring us down to 9. He's already used 1 Blackwing Corruptor, that means we can feel a little bit safer about being a little bit lower on our health total now, so I think it's okay to tap. Unless we want to Sylvanas, but I don't think so. With only this 2-3 on the board, and like there's stuff like Dragonfire Potion, Excavated Evil, Holy Nova, I think he can just clear the Sylvanas with an AoE then. So we tap. It's really nice, with the perfect amount of mana as well for this turn. Yeah, this Faceless Chamber is like the holy grail for this deck. If you can build up your board and then drop the Faceless Shambler in the late game, like turn 8, turn 7, then you're feeling like then you're in a pretty good spot. I'm going to clear the board and push for damage here. It's worth considering tapping and then playing this guy to get it a little bit bigger than trading with the 8/8. But the problem with that is then Dragonfire Potion kills this guy. And it's really nice for him to not be able to kill this guy with Dragonfire Potion even after trading this in. It's also really nice, obviously, to get a dragon on the board against that card. If he does feel a little bit threatened in the next coming turns and dumps his board, then we can always Sylvanas Shadow Flame, sort of saving those two cards together. Oh no. I'm going to take this 1/6. And kill it, okay.
You wish to live forever.
I mean, eventually he is going to draw the second death. So I think we do have to think about that a little bit and play around it by trading this in this turn. Although that 8 damage to the face is so nice. It's just we don't have any burn in the deck. We don't have Abyssal Enforcer. We only got the one Hellfire left. I mean, sure, we got the Draxus weapon, but you can't really count that as burn. So I think we just can't go face here because we just don't have enough damage afterwards to finish him off. So that's the last one, and he hasn't played a brand yet. So it's good that we've got all the Draconid operatives out of the way without him getting too much value out of them. Then the other thing is then the Netherspite Historian could also get then another Draconid operative, but... Great. So he's already used both the cards that he's got from us, so we don't have to worry about any burn coming from our deck now. So I still think the only thing he can kill us with is Blackwing Corruptor, the second one. So if we tap, go down to 7, a Blast Crystal Doomsayer, and obviously Blast Crystal this guy. I guess then there's Holy Nova Blackwing Corruptor. What's that, 5 plus 3 is an 8. Yeah, okay, we won't tap just because of that. Because of Holy Nova Blackwing Corruptor then kills us if we tap. Honestly, I'm trying my best to like think how to play this deck properly. And I understand it's probably a really hard deck to play, but I just don't understand how it's going to work in the current meta.
Just a pinch.
Like by the time you get low enough to play the Molten Giants, you're already dead. And once you build up a bigger board as a handlock, you need to be able to stop your opponent from hitting face. That's the first option, and the second option is heal, like incredibly. Which is why Reno Lock is really good and a thing. But with this deck, the only two haunt things you have after building up a massive board is Faceless Shambler. I guess we take the 3/4, like this guy, what it's going to be, a 3/4.
I have no time for games.
And then we don't tap for the same reason, the Holy Nova Blackwing. He's nearly through his entire deck, so it's not unlikely for him to have that. Obviously, we need to play Draxus next turn as the Blackwing. So if he doesn't do anything and just heals his face here, I guess we go Lord Draxus, trade this guy in, trade our weapon in, and then pass, and then the following turn Hero Power into Faceless Shambler, and hopefully that can hold us through. Oh, sorry, the next turn probably then Draxus Hero Power to clear the board. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do that. Okay, this still trades nicely and lives, so we're still going to do the Draxus play here. That. So then he might go face, maybe, or he might trade, I don't know, but either way, he's going to try and build up his board now that we've only got a max health total of 15. Then we're going to Twisting Nether Hero Power next turn, and then the following turn Hero Power faces Shambler, and hopefully that can pull us through to the end game. I guess the only thing we got to worry about now is the late game dragon that he might have, like the Ysera. Okay, not really an issue. Don't see a better play. This Hero Power go face, and then obviously same thing that we planned for the past 3 turns, then just Hero Power faces Shambler. I guess there's some merit to then face his Shambling and Bolf as well to make it really, really safe that we don't die, but I don't think he's got that much burn left. I think it's just Holy Nova. If he even runs Holy Nova, he might not even have it. Don't think there's any need to play Faceless Shambler here, because now after hitting this, it's just going to take the health onto Bolf, so we can use that. Dragonfire Potion doesn't kill our board here, which is also really nice.
Well played.
Well played. Whoa, that was a very interesting game. So against the Hunter.
Let the hunt begin. Your soul.
Mistress of Mixtures. Keep that, obviously. Like the Hellfire, I think. At 4 mana, I think I want to try and build up a little bit of a board.
Side effects? No. Trust me.
Against the Hunter, I think it's a little bit more important to get the board presence out without worrying about getting the extra health on the Twilight Drake. It's perfectly fine here. We trade in case he has some sort of a weapon. Like if he coins out Eagle Hornbow and then trades, it's a little bit worse for us because then we also, I mean, we still get the healing value, but obviously as a control deck you want to play the board control a lot more. That would have been nice to have this turn. It doesn't matter. So this is going to be a Twilight Drake into a Twilight Drake Mortal Coil into a Bolf, most likely. Depending if we can Mortal Coil something or not. Okay, I mean it's really good for us that he's trading there. Well, that's also really nice because now we got something to Mortal Coil with the Twilight Drake. So we'll Mortal Coil first. See what we get. Okay, another Blast Crystal Potion. Play the Twilight Drake into the Bolf, hopefully next turn. A little bit more health gain. Okay. Maybe he goes face, yeah, okay. So, he goes face, puts this guy down to 2. We can now Siphon Soul this. And trade this guy in. What do we Blast Crystal Potion? I think we can't afford to Blast Crystal Potion because of the mana deficiency then. If we Blast Crystal, then we gotta wait another 2 turns then to play Jiraxxus. Or another 3 turns, sorry. Whereas if we Siphon Soul, we only have to wait 2 turns and we can play Jiraxxus. I don't know. I don't understand how this is going to consistently win games.
Don't worry, loves.
It's just the lack of healing, the lack of taunts. The other play I was thinking is obviously the Blast Crystal Potion into Doomsayer. But losing that mana means I'm that much more further away from playing the Jiraxxus. I guess only one play here. Well, I guess there's a consideration to play Doomsayer again. So I could play Demon Wrath Doomsayer or Mountain Giant Demon Wrath. Oh, now the problem is if that's Cat Trick, then I'm pretty much dead. So I think I have to play Demon Wrath Doomsayer because if I play the Mountain Giant Demon Wrath and the Cat Trick comes out, I'm dead. But if I play the Demon Wrath and the Cat Trick comes out, then I might be able to play Hellfire and still survive. Yeah, it is Cat Trick, so I have to play Hellfire. So now I need to not die to 5 damage and then play Jiraxxus. So the only reason I couldn't play Mountain Giant there was because I had to play Demon Wrath first to test for Cat Trick. Because then my whole play then changed. So the first time that I've played this deck and Molten Giant's actually been good. So that's really, really, really good to draw that card. Obviously, now we go into Jiraxxus because I can't afford to stay at 5 health and expect to win against a Hunter. So, I want to say so far so good, but I'm not feeling too confident.
Don't worry, loves. The cavalry's here.
With 2 Blast Crystal Potions and at 10 mana, so the Blast Crystal Potion doesn't actually do anything bad to me anymore. And with the second one as well, I can feel pretty confident about getting that off the board. Just trying to be as safe as possible. I don't think we can draw into anything that's going to be lethal here. No way.
I smell blood.
Okay, so 6 to the face, 3 to the face, 9 puts him at 12. So I play these 2 first. That gives the maximum chance of this battle cry hitting something other than my face, so his hero power doesn't kill me. I trade into this because I want to keep the taunt alive. That's good. I go face with these 2. And now I always have enough damage here to kill him next turn if it comes down to that. Just hope he doesn't draw damage. He's used so much burn already. He's used the kill command and he's used 2 quick shots. So I think we win? Oh, that was close. Oh, that was so close. Especially after him getting the deadly shot on my Molten Giant. And there's the Shambler. Oh my god. Okay, I mean this deck can win, but it's hard to play for one, and it's really hard to get the Molten Giants out. I mean the old Handlock back in the day, it was so reliant on getting the Mountain Giants and the Molten Giants out at turn, like 5 or 6 against an aggro deck, right? They put you down and you go down to like 10 health or 15 health even, and you can get your Molten Giants out then still. But now you have to be at 5 health for the Molten Giants to cost 0. And it's so hard to get to 5 health and then like not die next turn, like without having a Reno especially. I understand that the deck's hard to play, and you have to understand that I probably did make a few misplays in the games that I played. But yeah, overall it's a fun deck to play, but don't expect to get such a crazy win rate with it, I would say. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the game. If you want to see more content like this, please subscribe, help me out a lot, and leave a like if you enjoyed it. Cheers, thanks for watching.